All right. Okay. So I want to talk about something, something that I think is incredibly important, and it's it's time sensitive, very time sensitive. In fact, there's a deadline. It's coming, and it's not something you're going to see on the news. It's not. No one's going to announce it, but it will be a definitive moment, a line in the sand, and once it passes, well, things are going to be very, very different for a lot of people. I can see some of you. I wish I could see all of you. Where are you? Where are you all watching from? Just type it in the comments. I'm curious. Are you in Texas, California? Are you somewhere in Europe, staying up late? Asia? It's always fascinating to see the global nature of this of consciousness. We're all connected right now in this moment, and I want you to feel that, because what I'm about to talk about, it applies to every single one of you, regardless of where you live, or what you do, or how old you are right now. Though it becomes exponentially more critical the older you get. There's this feeling, this quiet anxiety that I think a lot of people have. Do you ever feel it? It's like a low hum in the background of your life, a feeling that the clock is ticking faster and faster, and you're running. You're working hard. You're doing all the things you're supposed to do, but you're not really getting anywhere. You're just staying afloat, and the shore keeps getting further away. Let me know if that resonates. That feeling of running out of time. I've felt that. I've been in rooms where everything was on the line. I mean, everything. The early days of SpaceX, we had 3 failures, 3, one after the other. We had money for one more launch. One. If that 4th launch had failed, SpaceX would have been gone, evaporated. And Tesla, my God, I mean, people they don't really comprehend how close we came to death, to total failure. We were maybe a week away from bankruptcy during the Model 3 production hell, a week, and all the money was gone. My money, the company's money, everything. And in those moments, that low hum of anxiety, it's not low anymore. It's a screaming in your ears. And the fear it's palpable. You can taste it. It's the fear of failure, sure. But it's more than that. It's the fear of letting people down, the fear of wasting your potential, the fear of looking back one day and just seeing a long road of what ifs, of almosts. And that's the real fear, isn't it? It's not just about money. It's not just about being broke. It's about being unfulfilled. It's about getting to 60 or 70 or 80 and realizing you played the wrong game, or you didn't even know you were in a game. So that deadline I mentioned, it's real. And what I'm going to do over the next however long this takes is I'm going to give you a framework. I'm going to give you a set of tools. It's a list, actually, a list of 8 things. And these they're not cute little life hacks. They are fundamental. I think of them as axioms, foundational truths that govern the physics of success and failure, of wealth and poverty. And I promise you, I'm going to lay out all 8 of them by the end of this talk, every single one. So stay with me. This is important. Before we get to the list, you have to understand the prerequisite, the operating system that these 8 things run on. And it's this. You have to stop thinking like everyone else. I mean, you have to fundamentally reject the standard issue programming that society installs in you from from birth. We're taught to color inside the lines, to follow the recipe, go to school, get good grades, get a safe job, climb the ladder, invest in a 401k, and then you retire at 65, and what exactly? Hope that your little nest egg doesn't get wiped out by inflation or a market crash. Hope that you have the health to actually enjoy it. It's a system designed for mediocrity. It's a system designed to produce compliant workers, not sovereign individuals. It's designed to keep you busy, distracted, running on that hamster wheel. So you don't have time to look up and ask the really dangerous questions. Questions like, is this all there is? Is this really the best I can do? Is this the life I would choose if I weren't so afraid? That fear, again, it's the core of the problem. Fear of standing out, fear of being wrong, fear of looking stupid, fear of losing what little you have. And so you hedge, you play it safe, you optimize for not losing, instead of optimizing for winning. And when you do that, you guarantee a life of just getting by. I remember when I decided to put my PayPal money, it was, a fair amount of money. It was about 180 million, I think, after taxes. And I had a choice. I could have bought an island or, a bunch of fancy cars. That's the playbook, right? That's what you're supposed to do. But that seemed boring and pointless. Instead, I put 100 million into SpaceX, about 70 million into Tesla, and 10 million into Solar City. And I had to borrow money for rent. People told me I was insane, and not just, random people on the internet. My closest friends, they staged an intervention. Literally, they showed me videos of rockets blowing up. They said, "You're going to lose everything," and you know what? From a standard probabilistic standpoint, they were right. The most likely outcome was failure, total catastrophic failure. But here's the thing they didn't understand, and it's what you need to understand. The pain of regret is so much worse than the pain of failure. Failure is an event. It happens. You learn. You get back up. But regret is a poison. It's a ghost that haunts you for the rest of your life. It's the endless loop of what if. So I had to try. It was a moral imperative. If something is important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure, because the potential upside, not just for you but for humanity, can be so immense that it outweighs the risk. And this is the foundation. Before we even get to point number 1 on the list, you have to adopt this mindset. You have to be willing to look foolish. You have to be willing to fail. You have to decide that the pursuit of something great is worth the risk of losing something good. Okay, so the list. I wrote these down. It's rare for me to formalize things like this, but this felt necessary because I see so many people making the same fundamental errors over and over, and they're not bad people. They're not stupid people. They're running the wrong software. So let's install a new operating system right now. Here's the first thing, and it is the most important. If you don't get this one right, none of the others matter. Number 1, you must kill your scarcity mindset. I mean, you have to hunt it down and destroy it. It is the the root virus. Scarcity thinking is the belief that the world is a zero-sum game, that there's a fixed pie. And for you to get a bigger slice, someone else has to get a smaller one. It's the voice that tells you that there's not enough to go around. Not enough money, not enough opportunity, not enough luck. This is a lie. It is the most pervasive and destructive lie in human culture. The universe is not a place of scarcity. Look up at the night sky. The universe is a place of ludicrous, almost comical abundance. We're just at the very beginning of learning how to access it. When you think in terms of scarcity, you make decisions out of fear. You hoard resources. You get jealous of other people's success. You see competitors instead of potential collaborators. You focus on cutting your expenses down to the bone instead of explosively expanding your income. You are playing defense. Abundance thinking is the opposite. It's the understanding that value is not taken, it is created. Wealth is not a finite resource to be divided up. It is an infinite resource that can be generated from ideas, from ingenuity, from hard work. When you truly believe this, everything changes. You stop seeing limits, and you start seeing leverage points. You stop asking, how can I get my piece of the pie? And you start asking, how can I make a bigger pie? Or a whole new kind of pie. The founders of Google, they didn't take a piece of the library or encyclopedia market. They created something entirely new. They created abundance. The amount of value that has been created, it's staggering. It didn't exist before. It wasn't taken from someone else. It was willed into existence through code. So your first job is to brainwash yourself into seeing abundance everywhere. It's not about being naive. It's not about pretending problems don't exist. They do, but you approach those problems as engineering challenges to be solved, not as permanent walls to be feared. You have to believe in your bones that the universe is rigged in favor of those who create, not those who compete for scraps. It's a fundamental shift in perception. Okay, that's number one. Let that one sink in, because it's the gateway to everything else. Number two, become an obsessive learner. And I don't mean go back to college and get another degree. I mean, you should treat your brain like a piece of software that needs constant daily upgrades. Your formal education, it's just the initial boot up sequence. It's probably already obsolete. The rate of change in the world, especially with AI now, is it's accelerating at a pace that is difficult for people to really internalize. The skills that were valuable 5 years ago are becoming commodities. The knowledge that got you to where you are today will not get you to where you want to go tomorrow. You have to be in a constant state of learning. You should be reading voraciously. Books. I mean, actual books, not just tweets or headlines. Books are compressed wisdom. Someone spent years, maybe decades of their life learning something, and they've distilled it down into a few hundred pages. For $10, you can download a lifetime of experience into your brain. It's the best ROI in the world. When I was a kid, I would read everything. I basically ran out of books at the library. I read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica just for fun, because I was trying to download a map of the world. map of knowledge. And when I wanted to learn about rockets, I didn't take a class. I read books. I talked to people. I read rocket propulsion textbooks. And yeah, they're dense. They're hard, but the physics is it's there. It's available. You have to get comfortable with being a beginner again and again and again. You need to be learning about psychology, about history, about software, about biology. You need to build what I call a cross-disciplinary knowledge stack, because innovation usually happens at the intersection of different fields. When we built Tesla, we had to combine automotive engineering with battery chemistry, with software, with manufacturing science. You couldn't be a specialist in just one of those things. You had to understand the whole system. The person who stops learning is already dead. They are a fossil. The system. The person who stops learning is already dead. They are a fossil. They are a relic of a world that no longer exists. If you're not actively getting smarter every single day, you are getting dumber by comparison to the rest of the world. So you have to become a learning machine. It is your primary defense against irrelevance. Okay. Number 3, this one might sting a little. Number 3, stop trading your time for money. This is the trap. This is the hamster wheel. The vast majority of people are paid for their input, for the hours they work. You clock in, you clock out, you get a paycheck. And there's a hard physical limit to how much you can kind of earn with that model. There are only 24 hours in a day. You can't work more than that. So your income is fundamentally capped. Wealthy people, they don't get paid for their time. They get paid for their output, for their results. They build systems that work for them while they sleep. They create assets that generate income independent of their direct hour-to-hour involvement. This could be starting a business. It could be writing a book or creating a piece of software. It could be investing in assets that produce cash flow. The form doesn't matter as much as the principle. The principle is leverage. You need to find a way to disconnect your income from your time. You have to build or buy assets that work for you. At SpaceX, we don't get paid for the hours we spend designing. We get paid when our creation successfully delivers a satellite to orbit. That is the result. At Tesla, the value isn't in the hours the engineers work. It's in the car that comes off the assembly line and delights the customer. You need to shift your thinking from how can I work more hours to earn more money to how can I create a system or an asset that generates value for others at scale. Scale is the key word. Can your work impact 10 people, 100 people, 1 million people? The internet gives you it gives every single person on Earth the ability to achieve scale that was unimaginable just a generation ago. You can record video, write a piece of code, design a product, and distribute it to a global audience for almost zero marginal cost. If you're still thinking in terms of an hourly wage or a yearly salary, you are playing in the minor leagues. You have to start thinking like an owner, like an investor. You have to build things that work for you, because your time is your most precious, non-renewable resource. And if you're selling it off in hourly chunks, you will be broke at 60. I guarantee it. All right. Deep breaths. We're getting into the harder stuff now. Number 4, you must master asymmetric risk. Okay, what does that mean? It sounds complicated, but it's actually a very simple concept. It means you should only take risks where the potential upside is vastly, disproportionately larger than the potential downside. Most people do the opposite. They take symmetric risks. They risk a lot to gain a little, or they take risks with a huge uncapped downside, like going into massive debt for a depreciating asset. Let me give you an example. The decision to pour all my PayPal money into SpaceX and Tesla, the downside was capped. I could lose everything I invested, $180 million. That was the absolute maximum I could lose. That's the 1x downside. But the upside was uncapped. It was N. If it worked, if we could actually create reusable rockets and accelerate the transition to sustainable energy, the value created would be thousands of times the initial investment, maybe more. So I risked 1x for a potential 1,000x or 10,000x return. That is an asymmetric bet. That is a risk worth taking, even if the probability of success is low. The expected value is still incredibly high. You need to look for these opportunities in your own life. Starting a small business on the side. The downside is a few $1,000s and some of your time. The upside is potentially a multi-million-dollar company. That's an asymmetric risk. Learning a new high-value skill like coding AI models. The downside is a few 100 hours of your time. The upside is a complete transformation of your career and earning potential. That's an asymmetric risk. Most people are terrified of the small capped downside. They're so afraid of losing that 1x that they never give themselves a chance to win the 1,000x. They don't start the business. They don't learn the skill. They don't ask for the promotion. They choose the perceived safety of stagnation. But stagnation is not safe. It's a slow death. You have to get good at spotting and taking intelligent, calculated, asymmetric risks. Your life is not a savings account. It's a portfolio of bets. Make sure you're making bets that have a chance to truly pay off. Okay. Number 5. This is maybe the one that I am most militant about, personally. Number 5, shrink your feedback loop to 0. What this means is you need to know when you are wrong as fast as humanly possible. But the speed at which you can iterate and correct your mistakes is the primary determinant of your success. Most people and most companies, they hate feedback. They hate criticism. They see it as an attack. They get defensive. They build walls of ego around their ideas, and so they persist in being wrong for months or years. They waste unbelievable amounts of time and money going down the wrong path. You must do the opposite. You must actively, passionately, relentlessly seek out negative feedback. You should ask people, what's wrong with this? Not do you like this? Ask what's wrong with it. I have this process. I specifically ask the smartest people I know to tell me what's wrong with my ideas, and I listen. I don't argue. I just I absorb it because these are the people who will see the flaws that I can't. They're not trying to be mean. They're trying to help. Steel sharpens steel. You have to divorce your ego from your ideas. Your ideas are not you. If an idea is bad, it doesn't mean you're bad. It just means the idea is bad. So you kill the bad idea and replace it with a better one. The faster you can do this, the faster you will evolve. At SpaceX, we have a saying: the prototype is the easy part. Production is the hard part. When you're building something, anything, you need to be in a tight loop between designing, building, and testing. And the testing part is where you get your feedback. It's where reality tells you if your idea is any good. We test things until they break. We want them to break, because every failure, every explosion, it gives you data. It tells you exactly where the weakness is. You need to create these testing loops in your own life. Don't spend a year building something in secret. Build a minimum viable version in a week and show it to people. Get feedback. Don't wait for an annual performance review to see how you're doing at your job. Ask your boss. Ask your colleagues. Every day. How can I be better? The person who is most willing to be proven wrong will end up being right the most. It's a paradox. You have to be confident enough to take action, but humble enough to know that you're probably wrong, and then you just course correct again and again, faster than anyone else. That's the secret. All right, we're on a roll. 3 more. Number 6. Work harder and smarter than everyone else. Look, I know it's not a popular thing to say. There's a whole culture now around, work-life balance and not hustling. And that's fine. If you want an average life, you can put in an average amount of effort. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you are listening to a talk titled "If You're Broke at 60," I'm assuming you don't want an average life. I'm assuming you want an exceptional life, and exceptional results require exceptional effort. It's just math. If you work 100 hours a week and someone else works 50 hours a week, you will get twice as much done in a year as they do. And in some cases, you'll get it done in 4 months instead of a year. It's a massive amplifier. It's a fundamental advantage. Now, it's not just about the hours. That's the smarter part of the equation. You can't just be a hamster on a wheel running really fast and going nowhere. The work has to be it has to be focused. It has to be directed at the right problem. It has to be on something that has leverage, something that can scale. But assuming you are working on the right thing, the sheer volume and intensity of the work you put in matters. It matters a lot. During the Model 3 ramp, I was sleeping at the factory for weeks. I didn't go home because we had to solve problems in real time. If a robot went down on the line at 2 a.m., I needed to be there. We had to rewrite the software, fix the mechanicals, get it running again. You couldn't wait until the next day. Every minute of downtime was costing us a fortune and pushing us closer to bankruptcy. That intensity, it creates a different kind of energy. It forces you to be creative. It forces you to find solutions that you wouldn't find if you were just casually working on the problem from 9 to 5. So yes, you have to put in the hours, and you have to be ruthless about how you spend those hours. No wasted meetings. No pointless arguments. You are on a mission, and clock is ticking. You have to be a focused, disciplined execution machine. That there is no substitute for just doing the work. Okay. 2 left. Number 7, delay gratification until it becomes irrelevant. This is about reinvestment. The single biggest mistake people make when they get a little bit of money, a little bit of success, is they immediately upgrade their lifestyle. They buy the bigger house, the fancier car, the expensive watch. They take their foot off the gas, and in doing so, they kill their momentum. They take their seed corn and they eat it instead of planting it. You have to fight this urge with every fiber of your being. Every dollar you earn is a soldier, and you can either send that soldier out to go on vacation and relax, or you can send it out to the battlefield to capture more soldiers, to build your army. For years and years, I lived incredibly frugally. I reinvested everything back into the companies, everything, because the goal wasn't to look rich. The goal was to achieve the mission. The goal was to make life multiplanetary and to accelerate the transition to a sustainable energy economy. If you do that, if you focus on building the asset, building the machine, building the system, there will come a point where the system is generating so much value that the things you once thought of as luxuries, a nice house, a nice car, they become rounding errors. They become irrelevant. You can have them or not have them. It doesn't matter. The game is already won. But if you start consuming your winnings too early, you will never reach that escape velocity. You'll be stuck in a kind of middle class purgatory forever. You'll have just enough to be comfortable, but not enough to be truly free. Not enough to make a real impact. So live below your means, dramatically below your means, and reinvest the difference. Reinvest in your skills, reinvest in your business, reinvest in assets that will grow and compound. You must prioritize building your machine over enjoying the fruits of it. Plant the seed, water it, protect it, and one day you will have the whole forest. And that brings us to the last one. Number 8, build a legacy, not a bank account. This might seem counterintuitive. The whole speech is about not being broke, but this is the ultimate secret. The money is a byproduct. It's a side effect. It's a lagging indicator of the value you are creating for society. If you chase money directly, you will almost certainly fail to get it. Or if you do get it, you'll be empty, unfulfilled, because money is just a tool. It's a form of energy. It has no inherent meaning. The meaning comes from the mission. It comes from the purpose. It comes from solving a problem that you care deeply about, a problem that is important to other people. What is the change you want to see in the world? What is the dent you want to make in the universe? That's the question you have to answer. Now, for me, it was making sure humanity had a a future that was exciting and inspiring, a future where we are out there among the stars. That's a future that makes me glad to wake up in the morning, and the work that flows from that mission, building the rockets, building the infrastructure. That work creates value, and the money is just a way of keeping score. It's a way of allocating resources to solve the next set of problems. If you focus on your bank account, you will make short-term decisions. You will optimize for a quick profit. But if you focus on your legacy, on the long-term impact you want to have, you will make different decisions, better decisions. You will be willing to endure the pain and the struggle and the near-death experiences, because you are playing for a prize that is so much bigger than a number on a screen. So ask yourself, what is your mission? What is the problem that you were put here to solve? And start working on that, even in a small way. The money will come. I promise. It will come as a natural consequence of you providing immense value to the world. So those are the 8. Let's just recap. 1, kill your scarcity mindset. 2, become an obsessive learner. 3, stop trading your time for money. 4, master asymmetric risk. 5, shrink your feedback loop to 0. 6, work harder and smarter than everyone else. 7, delay gratification until it's irrelevant. And 8, build a legacy, not a bank account. This is the new operating system. This is the framework, and you can start installing it today, right now. And that deadline I mentioned at the beginning, the event that's coming, it's not some external thing. It's not a date on a calendar. The deadline is you. The deadline is your potential. The deadline is the moment you decide that you're no longer willing to settle, the moment you decide to stop being a passive observer of your own life and to become the architect of it. That event, that line in the sand, it can be today. It can be right now. It's a choice. And once you make it, everything that comes after will be different. You have the tools now. You have the map, the work. The work is up to you. Don't be broke at 60. Don't be full of regret. Start building. Thank you.